So we're continuing on with our simplifying rational expressions. So let me write this one up. There, I wrote both of them up. Okay. So let's see here. Well, we've got some issues because first of all, we have a division. So that means that we're going to have to write the whole thing over, but invert the second one. So you make it times, and then you invert this. So you're going to say 1 over all of this, right? Because currently, when it started off, it didn't really write it, but it was really over 1, if you will. So then when you flip it, then it's 1 over. All right, now we have to factor a whole bunch of stuff. So we've got a little bit of an issue here because we have some work to do. This part right here, this bottom left, is the easiest one on there. It's a minus 5 times a minus 2, because minus 5 times minus 2 multiplies to 10, but adds up to negative 7 for the middle. All right, now over here, a cubed, a squared, and a, they all have an a that I could take out. That'll leave me a squared plus 2a plus 4, right? And that's prime. It doesn't go any further because 4 is either 4 and 1 or 2 and 2, and neither one of those adds up to 2 in the middle, so we're good there. That leads us to this one, which I've kind of been avoiding. So let's go aside and figure that out for a minute. Oopsie. Right, so you're just going to figure this out somewhere else. Now remember, we have a formula for sum and difference of cubes. You don't have to memorize it. It's just in your formula sheet. So a cubed minus b cubed is equal to a minus b, a squared plus ab plus b squared. That's the formula for it. And again, it's a formula. It's just on your formula sheet. No need to memorize. So we have capital A cubed is equal to little a cubed. Well, that's kind of obvious. That means that capital A is equal to little a, right? No trouble. Then we have b cubed is equal to 8. B cubed is equal to 8, which means that b must be equal to 2, right? So you'd raise both sides to the 1/3 power, right? In other words, 2 times 2 times 2 makes 8. And while I'm on the subject, let me just also figure this out. B squared is 4, right? B 2 times 2. All right, so that means that a cubed minus 8, and I'm just going to fill out this formula. It's going to be a minus b. That's a minus 2. A squared plus 2a, because a times b, it's a times 2, 2a plus 4. And there we go. Right, so you just kind of go figure that out on the side somewhere. Oops, I'm going to make it small so it fits nice. There, just so you can keep it straight. All right, so that means a cubed minus 8 is now turning into this big monstrosity. Well, actually, that's good for us because then a squared plus, what was that? A squared plus 2a plus all that business, that all just disappears, right? Because it's over itself, which makes 1. And then over here, I have an a minus 2. And then a denominator, I have an a minus 2. And it doesn't matter if they're in the same fraction or if they're in different fractions. It doesn't matter. As long as one of them's in the numerator and one of them's in the denominator, then they divide away and make 1. And that means our final result is all set. It's 1 over a times a minus 5. Don't forget about this little a over here. He's still there. So that's where that little a came from right there. All right, we're all done with that one. All right, next. What else we got to do? Oh, I see a lot of factoring in here. Okay, so equals. Now, I do not like, and you shouldn't either. Do you see how this is backwards from what we would normally like to see? We like the y in front, and we like it positive. So how about we factor a negative 1 out? If we do that, that'll automatically flip it to y minus 6, right? Because negative 1 times positive y makes negative y. Negative 1 times negative 6 makes positive 6. And if I do it over there, I might as well do it over here. So it's negative 1, and then y squared take away 16. Factoring out a negative causes a binomial to switch, right? Both the sign switch and the order switches. So it's positive y squared take away 16. Now down here, this is y plus 4 times y plus 4, because 4 times 4 makes 16, but it adds up to 8. And this monstrosity, well, let's factor a 4 out. There's a GCF here. 4 times y squared minus 4y minus 12. So I'm going to have to take one more step. Kind of simplify this down a little bit. Okay, this one is difference of squares, right? So that's y minus 4, y plus 4. And this one is 6 and 2. So you got y minus 6 and y plus 2. That'll work, right? Because they'll multiply to negative 12, but they'll add up to negative 4 for my outers plus inners term. All right, now I'm going to reduce everything I can. So this goes with this one. Gone. And then y minus 6 is gone too. And then if you think about it, negative 1 times negative 1 makes positive 1, right? So I have positive 1 times y minus 4 in my numerator, which means y minus 4. And if you like, you can just think about it as crossing them off, because a negative 1 times a negative 1 disappears, right, and makes positive 1. And that's what the crossing off means anyway. It means we're making 1 out of it. Right, so the only thing left up there is y minus 4. Then I have a 4, a y plus 4, and a y plus 2. And now you're all finished. You can't divide away the 4s because this is inside a term. Remember, you can only divide when there's factors. And you can't do y minus 4 with y plus 4 because they're not the same. So you're finished right there. All right, what about the last problem? Okay, so we have two functions, f of x and g of x, and we're supposed to find g over f. Okay, so g over f of x. They didn't say this, but that's the same notation. All right, so let's think. That means we really want g of x divided by f of x. Okay, well, g of x is the equation that's on the right, which was 8x plus 16 over 4 times, okay, so this is 8x plus 16 over 4 times, what was that? 7 minus x. I'm going to divide that by the other fraction, which is 5 times x plus 2 over 10x cubed minus 70x squared. Lovely. Okay, so my first mission in life is to invert this second one. So I'm going to, and while I'm at it, why don't I do myself a favor and factor this one. So this is going to be 8 times x plus 2, 4 times 7 minus x. I'll do something with that in a minute. Then I'm going to times this by, and then, well, let's do a little bit of work here. This has a GCF, right? So this is 10x squared, and that'll come away, and that'll leave you x minus 7 up there, and then 5 times x plus 2. So we kind of did a couple steps there at once. Hopefully that didn't bother everybody too much. Well, here. If it did bother you, here's what you can do. So you can say 8x plus 16. Haven't done anything. Haven't touched a thing. And there you go. There. Now it's the same. So all I did was flip. There's that step where I just flipped. And then now I'm factoring. But I'm noticing something. When I factored over here, do you see how you have x minus 7? And then see over here how you have 7 minus x? Well, that's no good. So how about we take a step here and get this to be negative 4, x minus 7. If we do that, then that'll be perfect. Factoring out a negative causes the binomial term to switch. Again, this author really loves that little trick. All right, so then I can start reducing. X minus 7, gone. x plus 2, and x plus 2 gone. Oh, there's not much left. Well, 5 goes into 10, right? 5 goes into 10 2 times. So it's going to leave you a 2 right here. There's going to be a 2 instead. I'll put it up high just to keep it clear. And then negative 4 goes into 8 negative 2 times, right? So this is going to go, oopsie, sorry, this part. This is going to go, and this is going to go, the 8. And again, leave you negative 2. Okay, so I've got a negative 2, a positive 2, and it's all multiplied, and an x squared. So this means that it's negative 4x squared. There's g over f, believe it or not. All right, now I'm going to use that idea, and I'm going to substitute 3 into it. So I'm going to find g over f of 3. Remember, the parentheses there doesn't mean multiplication. It means you're going to substitute. So g over f, silly, of 3 means I want negative 4 times 3 squared, which is negative 4 times 9, which last time I looked is negative 36. And there's your final result. So if you have the equation already made, then it's pretty easy and quick to find that. And then I think we are all done with section 8 too. So hopefully that is a good, and you know how to multiply and divide algebraic fractions. See you then. I mean, see you later. Silly.